Life is hard. Many people have this thought, yet we all have different reasons. It could be the stress of school, work, money, anything. But the common thought after this is wanting change. I'm a very socially online person who isn't happy with the position that they're at in life. I'm constantly seeing people in a position I dream to be in, and I always have the thought, why can't that be me? You'll have these thoughts day in and day out, but never take that big leap to change. Until one day, I grew tired of that. That brings us to today. People online will tell you different ways that they've improved their lives and give you advice, but never show you what it was like at the start when they were struggling. I'll be using all of this advice, and over the next 30 days, we'll see just how difficult or how easy it is to change your life around. My current routine is waking up at 11:30 or 12 PM, scrolling on my phone for a bit. Once I'm up and I've settled down, I'll either start gaming, watching anime, or going onto YouTube. And that will last until about 5 PM when I need to eat dinner, and then that will take a lot of time as well until about 7 PM once I'm done and I've watched YouTube with my dinner as well. Then I'll consider editing or working on videos at that point. But by that point, I'm very distracted already, I'm very tired, and the focus just isn't there at all. And that'll continue until 9 PM when I stop to do some more gaming. Then at 3 AM, once the gaming is done, I'll be in bed scrolling on TikTok for way too long, and maybe we'll be asleep by 4 AM latest. And then once I wake up, the cycle continues once again. The only time this will ever change is if I'm editing, but I'll sometimes start a bit earlier. Ideally, I would like to wake up at 8:30 AM, get started immediately on creating videos, and get a good 8 hours worth of focus in, and then at that point I can relax for a little bit after I've done that. But then I want to be asleep by 12 to 1 AM, at the latest 1:30, so I can get a minimum of 7 hours of sleep. However, to reach a change, you need to understand what causes the problem in the first place. Let's break it up into during the day and during the night. For me, this all stems back from school. I'd always put gaming first and do the important stuff like homework later. But this got me thinking, what if we take something already deeply rooted in me and use it to our advantage? For example, I always used to hate studying and researching during school, but then, over the past year, I've done a lot of that for videos, and I've realized that I really enjoy doing it. So, what if we apply this concept to our schedule? What if I wake up early for something I actually enjoy, which is making videos? Take something that you might not have enjoyed in the past and apply it to something that you do enjoy, and you might get different results. Our first week will really show how determined I am to want to change, and it has its ups and downs. They say what you do once you wake up determines your mindset and how productive you're going to be for the rest of the day. So if you want a good day, start being productive the moment that you wake up, and that's how our first day went. I gave myself 2 methods to use when I woke up because I had heard multiple different things from different people. Some would say that you shouldn't start immediately and you should get ready for the day. Others would say that you should start immediately and get your brain flowing. But also, starting within the first 90 seconds supposedly increases your chance to enter a flow state. Those moments where you're so focused on a task that you set yourself, nothing else matters, time flies by, and before you know it, you've done more than you expected in a short amount of time. Shout out Blue Lock. Of course, this isn't guaranteed, but even having that higher chance was beneficial. This was the method that I believed worked best for me, but just in case, I had an alternative for tomorrow as well. To start off, I set myself a clear goal for what I wanted to do for the day. Simply, start editing. I already had a video recorded just to make sure that I can train my brain in this environment with video creation. We actually had a pretty good first hour with no distractions. It felt great, but the real test would be what comes after. Ideally, having a clear task lets me know what I'm capable of, because if I can't reach that point that I thought I could, why couldn't I? What caused distractions? And then tomorrow I will challenge myself to reach that point again and keep doing better and better each day. However, my first misstep may be that I didn't specify how much I wanted to get done in the day. I simply wanted to start. A big problem that I have that I've stated before is my procrastination. I get very easily distracted, but especially once I've taken a break, which leads us into what happened today. If I start gaming or watching videos, I can easily run over the intended time. It it will always be, I can do a little bit more. Then a little bit more turns into a lot more, and by the time you realize it, the day is done. Having this routine where I take a small break at a similar time during the day should hopefully train my brain to not go over that intended time. I got back to editing, but after a solid hour, it was back to losing focus here and there, so today wasn't as good as it could have been. However, we still made a step in the right direction, so we're still on the right track. This is where a lot of people, myself included, will overcomplicate things. You may not get everything finished like you wanted, but you made a step in the right direction, and that's all that matters, and it's always good to keep that in mind. But then comes during the night. Another difficult period for me, which is struggling to sleep. Once again, when I was younger, I always wanted to have more free time after school. So I would always stay up on my Nintendo DS when I shouldn't be awake, and to this day, I stay up on my phone when I shouldn't be awake, and it's always that phone causing distractions. I don't have a smart workaround for this, but I do have a sleep mode which disables app usage and also turns it into grayscale. So that's the best thing I can do other than just trying to sleep and waiting to join the sleep service. It is later than my ideal time, but since I woke up earlier and I'm not used to it, I actually felt pretty tired by this point, which made sleeping a lot easier. The next day, I wanted to compare my other wake up method. While I was able to focus as much as I did yesterday, it just felt more natural to me to get started immediately once I woke up, as opposed to coming back 30 minutes later and then getting started. Even though it's longer than I had hoped for, getting the first editing process done within just over a day was still really good progress compared to what I'm normally used to, so it's just a great sign that we're off to a great start. On the other hand, getting back into focus once I've done my task is still a really big issue for me that I really want to sort out, because if we can fix that, then it changes everything for my entire day, and I'm no longer just doing the bare minimum. However, over the next few days, our bad habits start to creep back in. The first hour was usually good, but after wasn't as routine. I started to game during my break. Like I said earlier, it's always just one more thing that'll extend this time. What I'm hoping for over the next few days or weeks is to lessen the urge to keep gaming, or at the very least, just save it for the evening. Saving it for the evening seems like the more reliable option because it isn't as risky. But we still have options that we can pick from. But then we were sleeping late and ruining our focus for the next day, and although I tried to adapt to that, I couldn't get the focus that I wanted. Not even the following day, because I made the same mistake of sleeping late. Any progress is good progress, but what I like to do is compare to the previous day. Did I do better or did I do worse? If I did worse, then why did I do worse? There's always a reason why you can get different results in a different day, so try to see what you did differently. Anyone can do something for a single day, but it's about being consistent, which is what a lot of people fail at doing. I needed to start getting back on track in some way. The next day was once again a late start, unsurprisingly with distracted focus. But then something changed. Hopefully tomorrow we can be more productive, because even though I am being productive today, and that's a good thing, you know, being productive every day, I'm still not happy with the amount that I have done, and I like to reach a point where I'm at least satisfied with what I've done for the day, even if it's not a whole lot. I was tired of regressing and not getting as much done as I want to. I wanted to do something beneficial for the me of tomorrow. Progress was no longer just progress. I wasn't satisfied. When you're constantly doing the bare minimum every single day, it can start to frustrate you. But there is one positive thing that we can take from today. I have noticed that I also stopped doom scrolling a lot. I'm able to sleep a lot easier. No longer doom scrolling is a huge benefit that I didn't even realize I had stopped until now. It would always make me sleep later, but it also makes your brain struggle to focus on a task because there's a lack of dopamine. But if there was any type of dopamine rush that I want, and many people want, it's that feeling of success. And although we were off to a bumpy start, I had confidence that over the next couple weeks we could really make it work. We're now at the end of our first week, and I was hoping to end it off strong to go into our next week. I actually woke up earlier than 9 AM, but I didn't start recording for a bit. Thankfully though, that didn't halt our progress, and we were able to get a good hour of focused editing done. Although I couldn't keep the momentum up, I was at least doing bits of editing here and there throughout the day. I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. I think it's going pretty well. I was very focused for the past hour or so. So that was good. I was pretty satisfied that I was able to get another hour of focused editing done, because by this point is where I usually unwind, so it's a great step and a great sign that my focus is getting a lot better. Overall though, I was happy that we're finally starting to make some improvements once again. It's the start of a new week and I was hoping to take some real strides forward this week. We weren't off to the best start with waking up almost an hour late, but I did accommodate for the time loss and I was able to get a good hour of editing done. Today was a very important day because it sets up the start of the week. But more importantly, I was thinking about some things regarding this journey. I just want to understand myself more when it comes to editing and why I get distracted, why some things are a bit slower to get done rather than some other things. But also, one thing that I keep forgetting to do, which is kind of frustrating, is I keep forgetting to set like a clear goal for myself. So I think what would be good would be for me to, at the end of the day, just write down, because I have like notes I can write on, right? Just write down what I want to do for the next day. If I'm able to figure out a workaround for distractions, that would be huge. The first week is for figuring out what works best for you. The second week is for refining what works best for you. Ideally, I want to post once every 2 weeks, and in order to do so, I need to be efficient in ideas, scheduling, recording. If there's any time to figure out how to do that, it's now. Which is why I'm already thinking about how long it will take to finish this video 1 week into recording it. The last thing that I want to bring up here is making a visual note of the tasks that you want to do for the day. This is a big game changer in how much I get done for the day, but we'll go more into that in a bit. But today was pretty good and it sets up how I want the rest of the week to go. So it's day 9, and because I wrote down a note of what I wanted to get done last night, it lets me understand my capabilities if I can't reach this point, or if I can push myself to reach this point. It also lets me evaluate myself as well for what I can do the next day for the next note that I leave behind. So today, while I did the usual first hour, I wasn't focused until 3 PM today, but I was able to get back into focus until 7 PM in order to reach my minimum for the day. But tomorrow I knew was going to be very difficult for a particular reason. Sleep-wise though, it's still bad and I slept at 3 AM. Despite still struggling to successfully wake up at 8:30, I felt tired and got up at 9:15, but still stuck to doing the 1 hour of editing. Now, the big reason that I knew I was going to struggle today was because a game I had been very excited for released today. Ghost of Yotei. It was honestly a question of how long will I be distracted for. Almost 7 hours. I'm gonna have to resist the urge to play this game because I lost track of time so easily. At this point, it was just look at the note, reach my minimum, that is all. I've been playing Yotei because I was really excited for it, so I spent a lot of the day playing Yotei. In the morning I did a bit of editing, but I was tired, so I didn't do a whole lot. And right now we're at 15 minutes and we're just going to get as much done for the rest of the day as I can. I'm very glad that I'm aware because I don't want to fall back into bad habits of gaming before doing the important stuff. So my thought process was, as long as I tell myself I can play some later, it won't be as bad. We only have like 7 minutes left of the video, so it shouldn't be too long either. So realistically we're looking at like 5 more days at most, I think, to get this video done. I think also after my first hour, when I get up and everything, I don't really feel as focused, so I drift off a lot into like being distracted and procrastinating. I do really want to try and fix that portion because I think once that's done, then it's like it'll be a lot easier to just manage the whole day. We'll see if my prediction comes true later on, but I was reminding myself of my real issue. After the first hour, I did unfortunately go back to doing some more gaming for a couple hours, but was back to being focused for the rest of the night because once again, the note is right there, reminding me to reach my minimum. This is why I said leaving notes behind was a big game changer. As well as on top of this, being able to properly sleep now without doom scrolling. These were the good strides that I was hoping for this journey. Surprisingly though, the rest of this week didn't go nearly as I thought it would. The next day, I missed my alarm but woke up at 9:30, so the fact that I was able to wake up at this time naturally is actually really good because in the past, if I missed my alarm, I'd wake up at 1 PM, so that is a huge difference. I did a bit of gaming for a few hours, which wasn't good, but I was actually able to get back into focus for once. And aside from eating dinner, I got a lot of focused editing done until 9 PM. So I was pretty pleased with that. Then I realized why I was able to focus. Like last night I did say, I'm pretty sure that I feel really good. And today I also feel really good for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's my routine just like adapting and changing how I am, like mentally. But normally I'd feel like kind of drained, very distracted, tired. But today I felt very focused, like I got a lot of editing done today. I wanted to play Yote, but I didn't allow myself to until I got what I wanted to get done. I'm prioritizing the important things and then rewarding myself with gaming. It was the first day where just mentally I felt amazing. Like everything just felt like it was going just the way I wanted it to. Again the next day, I did a bit of gaming but then was able to focus back in and get stuff done. This is a very clear example of don't expect results on the first day. That 3 AM feeling that I would always get or I could change my life and it would fade by the morning, that just feels like how I am now, and it felt amazing to be able to feel this way so soon into the challenge as well. But the last day of this week was very eventful, and not in the good way. So we're doing our usual editing, it's going well, but then I decided to take a break to play a certain game for 3 hours and 45 minutes, which is actually pretty big of a difference from the first time that I played, so keep that in mind because it's very important for later on. So I did get back to editing after for about 45 minutes. So far, today has not been too bad, right? Okay, so I just panicked massively because what I planned to do was I was going to give you guys an update, and then my camera said that I have no more space on my SD card. Okay, sure. So then what I decided to do was transfer the files onto my PC to make some space on the SD card, right? And I do that and I'm transferring it over, and what I believe I've done is that I've selected all the files and it's all transferred. I see a bunch of files in there, and then I go to delete the ones on my SD card because I need that space. I delete all of the files, and then I see in my PC only half of them are there. So I'm panicking, like I just spent a whole week and a half recording, and I just deleted all of the footage. I was panicking so hard. The first link that I saw on Reddit when it came to file recovery, I just downloaded it immediately. I didn't even check to see if it was good. Turns out it worked, and it saved my life massively because, oh my god, this entire video could have been deleted right then and there. Like, I can't just refilm it, I can't change my life twice, can I? Like, thank god there was a way to recover my files because I actually would have crashed out. So, what I was gonna say in my last update before it stopped recording is that the video is now pretty much done. Like, the whole game is in there now, the whole edit session is now done for that bit of the game. That was at least the good news. By tomorrow that should be done, but for the rest of this day, I did not want to touch this video after what just happened. What a way to end the week. It's officially halfway through this journey, and the video is almost done, which is faster than my usual time, by the way. So now it's time to start thinking about what comes after and what I can improve on for the next 2 weeks. It's a new week and day 15 looks like a nice stroll through the sunshine. Well, minus the sunshine part because it's actually kind of a bad day today. This is actually the day I thought I'd be fully done editing wise. We were already starting to play less, but I vowed to not play Yote until everything was done. Even when I allowed myself to game during my breaks, it wasn't even rewarding to do so because by the end I'm just thinking, damn, I wasted a ton of time doing this. But if I finish what I wanted to get done, then it feels a bit better. So unfortunately, it was on to the next day in order to really get this video done. We still have problems sleeping at a good time, but I was at least still getting some editing done here and there. I didn't want it to extend over into yet another day, so no more distractions. I locked in from 8 PM and was determined to get this video done today. 16 days later, the video is done. Let me just say, the me that was writing the script could get it done in a much shorter time than 16 days. Because my mindset over these past few days has been incredible. Like, my focus has gotten so much better. But tomorrow it was time to start something new. This is a very important part of my video scheduling that I would always fail at. First thing I did today was go over the video and make corrections, which took longer than I thought. I did allow myself to take a break once it was all done, and that went until 8 PM. 7 hours of not doing anything is a long time, but compare that to before I actually started this journey, it would sometimes be 2 or 3 days of not doing anything and just relaxing, and I always hated that. So I'm really glad that it's at least come down to doing something within the same day. I want to show up every single day, even if I don't have a lot of time and it's just something small. I want to put in that extra effort that a lot of people won't do. I don't want to feel complacent like I've already reached my goal, because I'm far from it. People in the position I want to be in are working 10 times harder than me, even though they don't need to. So I don't want to relax when I'm not at the point I want to be at, and I feel like now is the point where I really feel like I'm actually putting in the effort that I want to put in, and I can still keep improving from this point. I was trying to think of some new ideas, but the whole fresh browser and see what YouTube recommends method got patched. You know, they don't recommend anything on the homepage if you don't have an account. So I needed to do something different. Right now this is just the gaming tab, which honestly isn't the best. It used to be a lot easier to find new ideas just on your homepage, but then they changed how it works. It's a bunch of the same stuff that I don't really want, so maybe we'll have better luck tomorrow. You know, it's not really easy to discover something unless I have like an account and I'm getting recommended stuff. So I'm using View Stats, which gives me a top 100 list of the best performing videos for like a week or a month or even 6 months. So I'm using that to get inspiration instead for new ideas, and hopefully that will help. I was up nice and early, but there was a problem. Okay, so this isn't working. I don't know why. I'm watching like 2 seconds. It's back again. It does the same thing. It refreshes the page so I can't actually get into it. So I guess I can't do this for right now until maybe try again later. So I guess I'll work on concepts that I've already thought of, maybe. Or just try and look on my own subscription page, I guess, and try and get some ideas from there. Didn't result in many ideas, so instead I went to make my Witcher short like I had planned. I took a short break after, but I really wanted some new ideas, until I had a slight revelation. Okay, so US gaming, 2.3 million is the lowest, and 40 million is the highest. Now, if you were to UK, in the same duration of a month, the most viewed video is 3 million, and the lowest viewed video is 541,000. That is insane to me how big of a difference there is between not only the top, but also the bottom in terms of how many views people get. It's kind of all the same. Like, it's not anything that I can really take inspiration from or like build off of, which is why I'm also trying to take like US ideas as well, because they're different to what everyone in the UK is doing. This is what I mean by I really love researching. Like just comparing stats between the UK and the US and taking inspiration. Just trying to take as many shots as I can, and even if I miss, you know, I'm still satisfied, and that's all that matters. Day 19 was off to a bad start because not only did I wake up late, my PC was having issues as well, but once we got that sorted, it was back to doing some research. This was actually a very important day on how I do things in the future for my video creation. I took the researching very seriously in developing the video concepts, and I analysed pretty much every aspect of the video that inspires me or is performing well in the niche of the video concept. Whether it be from the music, the pacing, the thumbnails, just making my video idea the best that it can be to maximize its potential. I really underestimated how much you can learn from other people, and it feels like I'm taking that one big step forward in my video creation. I love doing this because I'm learning new things and I'm pushing myself forward, so I was really doing this for the entire day. And hopefully we'll see some benefit out of it, but if not, at least we learned something new. These last 2 days were all about applying my research and learning how to make a change. I checked the video performance for the video I posted yesterday. It's doing pretty badly actually, it's not doing really well at all. Normally by this point it's at least like double digits. It's still in the single digits, so I'm gonna do some more research into this video. See if I can make a new thumbnail for it and a new title as well. I knew that YouTubers will typically change a title or a thumbnail of a video that isn't performing well, but I'd never been able to pull it off. This whole day was just making new thumbnails. But that wasn't enough because still the next day, no one was clicking. So then I did some more research and changed the title. This feeling of being productive is great, and I'm so glad 10 days away from the end. I found ways to make my video creation process so much more enjoyable. I made the mistake of not putting nearly as much time as I should into my ideas, and it's very clear now that, this is the way to do it. This is the way to make better ideas and just overall better videos, just learning from other people and how you can apply that to yourself. Because at the end of the day, even if a video is well edited, it doesn't matter if no one clicks on it, so all I could do now was leave it and hope that it performed well. These past few days I felt like I've really been trying to learn and grow as a person and really coming into my own with this new schedule and focus that I have in order to pursue my dreams. It's our final week and we had good news.
I've successfully brought the 10 out of 10 video that I posted to an 8 out of 10. So it's not a huge difference, but still, there is a huge difference in a way. I've actually managed to change a video to start performing better, which I've never done before. So
being able to make a video perform better despite it not being huge numbers is still great, because it pretty much verifies that what I'm doing here is the right thing to do and to keep going with it. It was a great start to the day and that gave me a lot of momentum while I proceeded to work on my research for my next idea. Even doing some experimenting here and there and just really taking my time to make sure that I can execute my ideas as well as I can.
What I'm doing is I'm watching a video that will inspire me. It's not exactly like a gaming video, but like it has to do with what I want to do in the video, so it's some good inspiration for like how I can set the tone, how I can tell the story, things like that. I'm using different forms of media, or ways to present media, I guess, to also take inspiration from, so it's not just gaming.
Overall, it was a good day but could have been somewhat better in focus. Day 23, I gave myself a clear plan of just getting it done. Also to add, I have been waking up early, but I haven't been getting out of bed immediately as I should be doing, so I think that affected my focus a little bit here, because my focus in the first hour was kind of up and down, but also I wasn't entirely sure of my video concept. But after doing some testing, I have 2 fully researched ideas done. So from day 19 to day 23, along with some corrections I made to my last video, these ideas were fully ready to be recorded. This is infinitely better than what I was doing before, because I feel like I'm really maximizing my use of my time. This video right here is a personal project, but I chose to do a little bit of research just to help the chances of it doing well and reaching someone that could possibly relate and benefit from it. As long as my research helped tell the best story as I can for this video, that's the most important thing that I wanted out of it. Since we're getting close to the end of our journey, I really want to think about how far I've come from day 0, because we really struggled to have a good schedule back then. And now it feels like we're doing so much and too much, but that's just the way I wanted it to be, and I can still improve so much more from here. The next day was a slight step backwards. I wasn't getting out of bed as fast as I wanted, but also, this was my least favourite part of video creation because it's not exactly the most engaging thing. I have to go through a ton of footage, so maybe in future, we'll do it bit by bit instead, so it's less daunting and less of a challenge to get through. So I wasn't as efficient as normal, but still, we got a good amount done in the evening. Day 25, 5 days left. We were up nice and early, and today was literally script. There were small distractions here and there, but I only took a few hours out of the whole day for a break, so it was a lot better than yesterday. But also we have a bonus day here, day 25.5, because I didn't have a whole lot of time today, but still we got a small amount done. However, the next day I was like, I'm either finishing it right now or it's gonna get dragged out. Sometimes just saying it how it is to yourself can make you lock in. I didn't leave my room for 3 hours, just set on getting this done. Once again repeating the method of rewarding myself after a task is done. Interestingly though, I actually wanted to get even more done today, because even though I got a good amount done, I actually wasn't satisfied, which is interesting because I actually thought by the end of this journey I'd be able to reach a point where I could be satisfied with the amount that I get done in a day, but I'm actually happy it turned out this way because it just means I'm going to keep pushing myself to keep doing more and more within a single day. These next few days before our final day was everything that I could have hoped for out of this journey. For pretty much most of day 27 to day 29, I was locked in and making a lot of progress towards my video ideas, like finishing the script for the recorded days and making multiple thumbnails for my videos, and I was enjoying every moment of it. Even if I took breaks, I was able to focus once again, and it felt so easy to do so. I haven't had any urges to do any gaming either, which is crazy because that's the complete opposite of how I was in day 0. So it really feels like I've changed my life around, and it was time for the final day. It's the final day of this journey. We're up at 8:30 and it was time to do this one final time for this video. Today was thumbnail focused and script focused. So once this recording ended, any video was ready to be made. I was trying new things with thumbnails, and despite being difficult, I stuck to it and was pleased with the results. Similar to this video that you're watching. I did end up taking a break for a few hours during this whole day, so it still shows that I still have some improvements to make. But I was able to finish what I wanted to get done, and right here was our final hours of this day.
Sleeping at 2 AM still. Need to improve on this, but a lot of improvements made, and I'm just glad that I chose to do this because it's been so beneficial. Everything has worked out really well, and I'm hoping to keep this up. Hopefully this is just my default from now on, just always putting my work first and then gaming later, and just getting stuff done.
Our journey to change is finally over. I spent 1 month trying to change my life around because I was tired of feeling tired. I was tired of not doing as much as I wanted within my days. And I was tired of procrastinating too, because I really wanted to put in as much effort as I could to chase this dream of mine. Throughout these 30 days, there's been ups and downs, especially in the first and second week. But I kept trying, always trying to do better, and by the end, I've improved my focus immensely. I get what I want to get done actually finished, and found what works best for me to keep up this schedule. I no longer struggle to fall asleep, and those urges to take a break to spend hours gaming are gone, and it feels great. It wasn't perfect, and there's still so much that I can improve upon, but much like my goal, I'm going to keep trying to reach that point. You can change. It's all about whether you want to put in the work to do so. Don't be one of those people that will look back in life thinking, I wish I tried harder, because you can do so much more. The only one that can take you to where you want to be is you. So if you fail, just keep trying. Thank you for watching me take this step forward to change and turn my life around. I really appreciate it, and I guess I'll end with one of those lines that you'll hear in like a Hope Corps video. Life is hard, and giving up is easy, but life will never be easy if you give up. Hold on, I low-key cooked with that one. Let me do one more, hold on. You can't spell failure without win. Bye.
My story.